Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're a new subscriber, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, please like this video and comment. If you're an oldie, thank you for sticking around. So on today's video, you can actually tell from the caption, having a special need child. Yes, so I'll have to start my story. First off, I had my handsome baby 14th of December 2017. His name is Enzo. In case you hear me mention his name in this video or any other video, having Enzo has been a blessing. Sincerely speaking, having Enzo has actually changed my life in different ways. Like, it has actually made me become who I never knew I could be in this life. So my story goes this way. 2017, I had my baby. So when we had him, okay, first off, all through my scan, he never showed me I had my baby had an issue, really. But before then, I wasn't actually going for antenatal in a proper hospital. I was going to a maternity because my friend had her 3 kids in that maternity. So the day I came to see her, I liked the place. As a first-time mom and a new mom, I didn't really know anything much about pregnancy, children. Like, I didn't even know that there's anything like having your baby having an issue or something. Seriously, I was just clueless then. I was only 25 as at then. So I was pregnant. I got registered there. They didn't have a doctor and all that. It was basically midwives. So they had this scan place they usually send us to go run our scans. We do scan, we bring the result, they'll just keep it or something. They'll tell you to take it home. So I was actually running my scans, and they've never for one day told me that, even the sonologist never for one day mentioned that my baby or my fetus had an issue. So one fateful day, I think I was already 8 months as at then. So my husband actually decided that I should try to run a scan in another place. So I went to another scan place. I did a scan. They found out in the scan that my baby had an issue. So the sonologist that did the scan asked me to go see my doctor with the results. So when I was going home with my sister-in-law then, we tried to open the results to read through and see what was written there. So what we did was we Googled the remark and we realized that they said the fetus ventricles were distended with fluid and that that fluid, it leads to hydrocephalus or something. I don't know how to explain it. Medical doctors here can actually relate to what I'm trying to say. So immediately we googled and saw pictures and everything. I started crying. I saw children with hydrocephalus with very large head and all that. I was crying. Before we got home, we brought the news to my husband. My husband was worried. He called his cousin, who is a medical doctor, Dr. Kalia. Shout out to Dr. Kalia. He's a medical doctor now in Canada. So my husband called his cousin, who is a medical doctor, Dr. Kalia, and we sent the results to him. He reviewed it and explained to us that our child has an issue. We still didn't believe him. My husband said that we go back to the first place we used to run. I used to run my scan. That's where the maternity people usually refer us to. I went back there, did another scan that same day. The sonologist still did not say that there was an issue with my baby. But then when I read the result, it said the fetus ventricles were distended with fluid. I asked this sonologist, I said, is my baby okay? He said yes. That I did not sue that man was just the grace of God. It's just that I don't like wahala. I don't have strength. That's the truth. I would have sued him because I had to go get all my scan because I was literally doing scan every month. Being a first-time mom and the first time that my husband was always excited about seeing our scan and me doing a scan and all that. So he now said there was nothing wrong with my child. But from the review, from the remark, there was something wrong. We decided to go to another scan place. When we got there that day, they said with us clinics, they asked us to book for the next day. I was still furious and worried. So the next day we went back. Clinics did their scan. They still told us that our baby has an issue, that his ventricles were distended with fluid, that there is fluid in his head. When I mean his ventricles were distended with fluid, I mean that he has fluid in his head, that he has water retained in his brain. That was my biggest nightmare. I started crying. I cried all through that period and all that. Like, it was really challenging. You know what it means, knowing that you are not going to have a healthy baby 1 month before your delivery. So finally I went to the hospital to register for an antenatal. When we got there, the hospital asked us to run a scan. We ran the scan. Actually went to a government hospital. We ran another scan. It still said the same thing. So the doctors told us that our baby has hydrocephalus, that once that I can't have him through vaginal delivery. That was how I started having my children in CS, though. That I can't have him through vaginal delivery. There has to be cesarean section because his head circumference is too big. It can't come out from my pelvic and all that stuff. I said, okay. I didn't have an issue. They now said, once we bring him out, we'll have an ambulance standby. We'll have to rush him to Luth. So all through that period, all through the 4 weeks left before my delivery, I was always going to the altar, crying to God, praying. See, if crying can change things, my Enzo would have been better. But the truth is, sometimes God just allows things to happen for a reason. It's not like my God forsake me. No, my God didn't forsake me. I still love him till this moment. He had a reason for giving me Enzo. That's the truth. I cried, I prayed, On that fateful day, on the 14th of December, I went into the theater. They gave me an epidural. It didn't work. They had to put me to sleep. So when they brought out my baby, I didn't even know. But at some point, I was drowsy. I was struggling to wake up after the whole surgery. So I could literally remember asking my husband, did God answer our prayers? So where I was struggling with my with gaining myself, I kind of glanced at my husband and I realized that he was looking sad. You know what it means, like having a new baby and you are sad about having that new baby. It's not really easy. So the only thing my husband did was he just patted me on my head, and told me that everything is fine. I didn't even get to see him, my new baby. They just brought him close to me and said I should kiss him, say this is your baby. But I was still struggling. Like, I didn't even know what he looked like. The ambulance took him, my husband, and my mom. They went to Luth. So when I woke up the next morning, there was no baby beside me. Every other mother was with their children. It was really, really a trying time for me. I cried. I saw. In fact, there was nothing I didn't do on that hospital bed. It got to a point I started nurturing my neighbor's baby for her because my baby wasn't there. So every day I was crying. I was actually in the hospital for 4 days due to the fact that I had cesarean section. So later, the one doctor came and said they needed to discharge me so I could go see my baby and even breastfeed him. So I got discharged on the 4th day. I went to the hospital. I saw the most beautiful gift God gave to me. He was so handsome. He was such a beauty. Seriously, I don't know, but I'll try and get his picture and put it on the screen. I might, not sure, because I have a lot of pictures saved in my Google photos. So back to what I was saying. When I saw him, the feeling wasn't just easy, I tried to hold back my tears. I held my new baby and all that. But when my baby came out, surprisingly, what he had was spinal bifida. It wasn't even hydrocephalus. He came out with spinal bifida, stage 4. Like, spinal bifida, his spine came out from his back. As in, his spine came out when I gave birth to him. So when they got to the hospital, 3 days after, because I was still in the hospital when they did his first surgery. He was 3 days old when they pushed the spine inside. So when they pushed the spine inside, the doctors told my husband that there are chances that his head might start growing bigger because there is this fluid in the spine that goes from the spine back to the head. and it's supposed to be going back and forth and not to retain there. But in most cases, it can just retain there. So they told my husband what to expect, that the fluid might go to the spine and retain there. It might be going back and forth, which is okay. After the surgery, the fluid started going to the brain, and he retained there, thereby making his head to become big. His hair started growing rapidly. So we bought this measuring tape. They said we're supposed to use the tape and be measuring his head circumference to know how the hair is growing, if it's growing rapidly. So when he was 7 days old, the doctors decided that they have to do a surgery in his head to help the fluid in his head to be going down to his stomach. So they did a procedure that is called ETV. Any doctor here can tell, any neurosurgeon here can tell. They did a procedure called ETV. They made an opening in his brain so that what the fluid in his brain can be going down to the stomach. So after that surgery, he was 7 days old when he did that surgery. I think I was actually present during that surgery. It wasn't easy. I did CS, things like that. I was in the hospital going and coming though. My mom was there. If I shout out to my mom, she's an amazing woman, a human being on this earth. She's a rare human that I've never seen all my life. My mom was there for me the first 2 years I had this child. She never left my side. All the hospital workers, she was always the one there. I never slept in the hospital for one day. My mom was there. She's just a great woman. So back to what I was saying. So after the ETV, we spent our Christmas in the hospital. Luckily for us, we got discharged on the 31st of December 2017. So we had to spend our new year at home. Trust me, that 2017 December was like the worst December of my life, like the worst year of my life. Literally spending your Christmas in the hospital. It's not a good stuff, trust me. So when we got home, by the time they discharged us, he was almost going to 4 weeks. We decided to go and do circumcision. So when we got to the hospital, the matron called me to come in. When I came in, they showed me and they told me that my son had hernia at 4 weeks. They asked us to go back to Luth and see a doctor concerning the hernia. But they did the circumcision. We went back to Luth. They saw the hernia. They said they will have to operate on him again. So we did our normal routine checkups. It was 4 weeks when we found out that he had the hernia, but he did the hernia surgery when he was 6 weeks. So 6 weeks, we went in, he did the hernia, it got removed. Thank God, it was a success. So after the hernia surgery, it wasn't even long before then, we realized that the ETV, that's the surgery they did in the brain, failed. The opening they did in the brain started closing, thereby making his head grow bigger. He started reacting and started having green veins showing. I'll put that picture on the screen. It wasn't easy. It wasn't an easy thing. In fact, it wasn't funny. So we rushed back to the NSU, the neurosurgery unit in Luth. They saw the whole stuff and they told us that the opening in the brain has closed. So therefore, they have to do another surgery on him, and this time around that they have to pass a shunt. A shunt is like a foreign body, like a tube from his brain down to his stomach, so that the tube can be draining the fluid from the brain to the stomach. After the whole stuff, at 2 months old, he did his 4th surgery. I know, right? Unbelievable. 2 months. He was barely 2 months and he has done about 4 surgeries. They passed the shunt to his stomach. And to the glory of God, that was the last time his head grew. As in, everything was arrested. My Enzo's head didn't grow again. After 2 months, after he was 2 months old, the head reduced drastically. The shunt worked. Then, after the shunt, we realized that the hernia they did failed. Oh, God of mercy. My poor baby. Right now I'm emotional. I don't even want to cry. Like, remembering everything Enzo went through. Like, God has been faithful. Seriously. He's going to be 5 December 14 this year. And Enzo have actually lived. okay, I need to get myself together, because it's not something to cry about, it's something to actually be thankful to God for. So they said the hernia failed, that we need to redo the surgery. At that time, I was already exhausted. I told my husband that I wasn't ready, that we need to give this child some break. Like, this child needs to rest from all this anesthesia, cutting up and down. This is just a newborn, 2 months old baby. We decided to manage the hernia till he was 11 months, you know, constantly throwing up. Anytime he eats, he doesn't keep him food, he would throw up. We managed it from when he was 2 months to when he was 11 months old, because I needed his body to, you know, become strong. Like, his skin needs to be strong to be able to carry the 5th surgery. At 11 months, he did his last ever surgery in this life till date. God is beautiful. God is wonderful. God is amazing. So they did the hernia surgery at 11 months. And that was it. So we started doing physiotherapy. In this particular stage, I have to talk about his challenges. Enzo has spinal bifida stage 4. Micro, whatever. I'll try to find the name and put it on the screen. That's if I find it, though. I don't have time to start Googling all those there. But I'll try. So spinal bifida has 4 stages, okay? And Enzo has the stage 3, which is almost part of life stage 4. Deadly stage that causes paralysis. Yes. So after the whole surgery, his first 1 year, he didn't have neck control. He didn't even have 100% sitting balance. He couldn't talk, though he was making gestures and making sounds. Then we started physiotherapy, enrolled him in a special needs school, you know, where they do physiotherapy, speech therapy, and a whole lot. But the truth is that the fee is out of this world. Oh my goodness. I don't even want to mention. The fee is like, in fact, the fee, you can use the fee to buy a half plot of land. I'm telling you the gospel truth. It's not actually easy. So, Enzo having spinal bifida stage 4 means he's paralyzed. Yes, he doesn't have leg movement. He can't stand. He can't walk. Even sitting, he needs assistance. Like, he can't sit 100% independently. You need to sit him either on a chair or support him with his hand to sit. He can't talk, but he makes gestures. But he smiles. He has one of the priceless smiles ever. And he's such a cutie. I'm going to put his picture on the screen so you get to see him. But with time, one of these days, I'll make a video with him. So there are things he can't do. So he's not 100% independent. He can't feed himself. He basically can't do anything. That's just the truth. So you have to do literally everything for my Enzo. But before then, a particular woman told us that Enzo would actually live longer. That at some point he would develop kidney problems. You know, they mentioned, in fact, I even went on Google and I started reading. You see, if you are here and you have an issue, please do not go to Google. After Enzo's issue, I stopped going to Google to read anything medically. I just call a doctor. Google messed my brain up, and one certain woman again messed my brain up. They told me how Enzo will not be able to live up to 3 years old, how Enzo is going to have liver and kidney problem, how he's going to be blind, how he's going, a whole lot of things. Oh my goodness. I was depressed. I cried. It wasn't just funny, you know. But before then, a doctor advised I take in and have another child, that it will actually help me psychologically and still help Enzo. And I listened. I took him for my second son, Mario, when Enzo was barely 3 months. Yes. There was somewhere on Instagram I saw one page like that. I've forgotten the name of that page. A woman, I think it's Obi or Rat or something. I'll try and find that handle and put it on the screen. I will try. I'm not sure. So the woman messaged the owner of the page and talked about she has a child with my son's issue. I love to meet people that has a children or has a child with my son's issue. Seriously, like, I like to have conversations with them. to help them in my own little way. She talked about how she does not have a life, how her business is suffering, how she's the only one taking care of the child. She doesn't go out, only her husband, So this part, first off, I want to give a shout out to my husband. He's an amazing man, an amazing husband, a great dad. He was with me all through this. Like, he never left my side. In fact, him and my mom were basically the ones in the forefront, like always in the hospital, What my husband didn't do was to leave the responsibility of taking care of Enzo just on me. No, he made sure we had helps to take care of Enzo. He made sure we went out. He made sure I was happy. He made sure I lived my life. I was never restricted for once or limited from doing anything because I had Enzo. So this mom that complained that you and your husband needs to share the responsibility of taking care of that child, because I and my husband, we actually take care of Enzo as well. Then if you both cannot do it because of our businesses, you can get someone to assist you people. Now, the said lady complained that her mom has been disturbing her to take in, but that she's not psychologically ready. The truth is, I did it. I took in 3 months after I had Enzo, and I will not lie, it was the best decision I ever made. Having my second son was one of the greatest blessings God has ever given me, because he helped me psychologically, and he's helping Enzo. You know what it means having a brother? I gave Enzo a brother that could actually play with him, help him when they grow older. I don't know if this writer gets to see this video someday, please, you would have actually listened to your mom. I know it's not easy, trust me. Taking care of a special needs child and being pregnant, it's not easy. But your mom didn't do anything bad by telling you to take in again. It's just to help your mental health, because I actually did it and it worked perfectly for me. But the truth is, whatever that works for me might not work for you. Don't get me wrong. Okay? So back to what I was saying. My Enzo literally can't do anything. And I am not complaining. I'm unapologetic about it, because I know he's going to be fine. I'm happy that he's alive for me. He's here whenever I see him with his beautiful smile. I'm okay. He's enough for me. Yes, he's enough for me. But I know that with time, he will get to start doing some basic things. To think that he didn't have 100% neck control. He's 4, and now he has his neck control. Like, they have delayed milestone. That's one thing with children with special need. Neck control that normal babies have within their first 3 months, or highest first 6 months. My son just had his neck control at 4. I'm telling you. Now, sitting balance, he has about 50% sitting balance. Things that he couldn't do as a baby, he's doing them now. So my Enzo is going to be fine, and that's on period. So back to what I was saying. We literally have to do everything for my Enzo, and I am not complaining. I used to tell myself that I'm a caregiver. God gave me this child to care for him. Yes. I am not the strongest person on this earth. I don't have the hardest of hearts that I can carry this. No. Because that's what some people used to ask me, like, how do you do it? Your heart is very strong. You're a strong woman. God gave me the strength. I didn't actually get the strength from anywhere. It was just God that gave it to me. I didn't just derive it from anywhere. God gave it to me. Really. God gave it to me. So, that was our story. I will say our story because the story from I and my husband. But right here, I'll say that is my story with my special needs child. So, if you're a mom with a special needs child, hang in there. In fact, first of all, I want to give a shout out to moms with special needs child. If you are seeing this video, you are doing wonderful. You are doing a great job. Just know that God has not forsaken you. You were a caregiver. God gave them to you. God gave that child to you to take care of him or her, because he knows that you can do it. God cannot give us what we cannot carry. That's just the sincere truth. Because the truth is that God has just brought different people my way to help me in and to assist me in taking care of my Enzo. Having my Enzo has been a blessing to me. That is the sincere truth. Enzo has been nothing short of blessing to me. I won't even deny it. Seriously. So, that is it. And I think I'll have to talk about Enzo in another video. But for the meantime, I have to stop here. But then, I forgot to mention one thing. What made Enzo have this issue, from what I was told, is lack of folate in my body. I didn't take folic acid. Yes, like I was really sick in my first trimester. Like I thought I was going to die. I couldn't keep in food, I couldn't keep in medicine, so the baby couldn't form well. How can you be pregnant and you can't take in food or even take folic acid as in something that can actually help him form? I couldn't take any of those in. So it was lack of folic acid that made Enzo have this issue. So right now I'm going to advise, if you're a young girl between the age of 18 and above, please make sure you take folic acid once a day to help build your folate level. Please do not be like me. I beg in the name of God. Say I fit carry this thing, no mean say you fit carry am. Please, folic acid is really essential before conception and during pregnancy. That is the truth. If you are a trying mom, if you are trying to conceive, sorry, please make sure you take folic acid once a day. It's very essential, because by the time we find out we are pregnant, the fetus has already formed. The first thing that forms in a fetus is their spine. Yes. So by the time I found out I was pregnant, spine don't form finish. Oh. Seriously. So please try to take folic acid once every day, trying to conceive from 18 years and above. And when you are pregnant, your first 3 months is really essential. Like, try to take folic acid your first 3 months, please. It's really essential. Once you are able to take in folic acid your first 3 months, then you are good to go. Yes, I know someone that stops the folic acid at 4 months, because it's really vital and essential the first 3 months. Yes, please try. I beg in the name of God. Let's reduce the number of special need children on this earth. Though I know I'm not God, though, but let's try to prevent it by taking folic acid, because that was what made me to have a special need child. Literally. Yes, I know that some people don't even take folic acid and they still have healthy children. Don't get me wrong, but we have the same destinies. We have the same, we carry the same different, sorry, we have different destinies, and we carry different grace. You know, that it worked for Mr. A doesn't mean it's going to work for Mr. B. That Mr. A doesn't take folic acid and the Mr. A had a healthy baby, doesn't mean that if me, Mr. B, doesn't take it, I'll have a healthy baby. Your chances that my baby might not be healthy. So please, let's do the needful. Thank you so much. As we've come to the end of today's video, please do not forget to subscribe, like. Please help me, help a session needs mom. Please subscribe, like, so that I can get monetized. Please watch this video to the end. Please help me, like, subscribe, okay, and comment down below, please. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next one. I will still bring a story about Enzo. Yes, I still have a lot to talk about Enzo, but that will be 3 videos after this, okay? So please do subscribe and stick around so that you can get to watch the video. All right, thank you all, and I love you all.